I was going to do a vlog topic. The vlog topic for today was going to be normies. Normie customers at my new business in particular. Normies. So I could say lots of things about customers that I served in my previous business, Capers, but I think that would be a whole other video. Quite a long video that details like the history of my work there, which is like 19 years long, and how the business worked, and then I'd go into all the different types of customers you'd get and all the attitudes you get from the customers and their behaviours and what's wrong, what's right, all that. But for now I'm talking about my new business, not in specifics in any way, but the kind of customers you get where I work now. So it's very similar to where I worked in Bath in 2014, which is convenience store, corner shop, 7-Eleven, although I've since learned that that's like an actual brand. I always thought it was just a term that defined any shop that was open from 7 AM to 11 PM or similar. So when I say 7-Eleven, I don't mean whatever, I think it's like a Japanese brand that went to America. I don't mean that. I mean just a shop that's open for long hours and it's open on bank holidays, and it's just like a mini market, a mini supermarket. That's a little bit of a different place to where I've worked for a long period of time. Hello Crow, he's still outside. He's looking for food, but I'm not going to give him any more. So the really annoying things about the customers is obviously they're normies, they're non-political, easily fall towards the politics of the dominant thing that they see through their TVs and newspapers, which is the far left extremism. Can very easily influence normies and blue pill them to their side, rather than what I would have said is red pill them to the right-wing side, or red pill them to an anti-feminist stance or something, which is more centre, I guess. It's more my leanings. They're more likely to go to the left, but until then they're just kind of mindless drones. They do what the TV tells them. You know, if government initiate a lockdown, they put on masks, they do whatever the TV told them to do. They tend to buy, as a result, they tend to watch TV, they tend to buy newspapers, they tend to participate in the national lottery, gambling. They tend to buy lots of tobacco, cigarettes, vapes nowadays, which is a newer thing, and alcohol all the time. And the sheer volume of people who buy sweets, and I'm not just talking about kids, like adults as well. They buy so many sweets, especially once you get to Halloween. It's just like sweet, sweet, sweet. Like every purchase is sweets and alcohol. I don't mind people who buy bread and milk. I think that's like a staple in England. And then I especially like customers who buy unexpected things, healthy-ish things, like they're buying lots of vegetables, they're buying stuff to make a pasta dinner, or a dinner that is high maintenance, that they have to take time to put together. So you see lots of odd kind of cooking ingredients and things. They're my favourite kind of customer in terms of what they buy. My worst kind of customer are the ones who buy lottery over and over again, and the ones who use lottery to buy lottery. Like they win, they buy 5 scratch cards and they win £15 on the scratch cards, and you give them their winnings, and then they immediately buy another 5 scratch cards for the exact amount that they won. So they're not progressing in any way, they're just stuck in a cycle of keep buying, maybe you won't lose, maybe you'll win more, and if they win more, they use all that to buy even more scratch cards and things. I absolutely hate that. Another thing I hate are the people who essentially, staff as well as customers, the people who live in the shop. Like we have some staff members who come in even though it's not their shift, and they'll work an entire like 6-hour shift when no one asks them to. They're not being paid for it, they just come in and do it anyway. I don't like that, because they're essentially just living in the shop. You know, they're not getting paid for it, and yet they come in. That means their connection to work is that they treat work as their home life, as their leisure, as their living. And like I said in a previous vlog, in a way, I hate that kind of like work needs to be disconnected from life and everything you are in reality, whereas some of these people, they're connecting their work and their leisure and their home life into one amorphous blob, and that's disgusting to me. And then the customers who tend to live in the shop. Back when I worked in a Whole Food shop, we had customers coming in, they'd buy their shopping that they need for the day. It's great, nice to see you. They leave. Maybe there'll be a chance they come in a second time. Oh, I forgot something. And they get everything that they need. It's like, oh, yeah, sorry I had to come in a second time, see you later, that sort of thing. Whereas in the shop I'm working now, in this convenience store that's open 24/7, open on bank holidays, there are customers who come in who essentially seem to live there. Like, you might see several customers who come in 10 times a day or something. So they're not just coming in, getting all their shopping that they need from their shopping list and going home. They're coming in, they're getting a bunch of shopping, they're going out, you see them like 15 minutes later, they come in again, they get some shopping, they go out, they come in again, they get some shopping, they go out, they keep coming in. It's like they want to live in the shop. And the worst kinds of people, I had a young customer come in, and she came in the shop, and in one visit to the shop, she took like 2 items to the till, like some sweets, paid for them. Okay, see you later. Is it see you later? No, because she's remaining in the shop. She goes to the back of the shop, gets another item, comes to the till, buys it, goes to the back of the shop, gets another small item, comes to the till, buys it, goes to the back of the shop, and she's just like living in the shop. She's not buying all her stuff in one transaction. She's not buying with a shopping list. The people like this frequently get the amount of money they're paying with wrong. Like, they can't. That's another gripe I have, is so that's customers who seem to live in the shop. We can chain on to that. Customers who don't know how to pay when they're paying cash. I think paying cash is a great thing. I think we have to keep it going. But we seem to have a surplus of customers. I don't want to use the word uneducated, but they don't know very simple things. They don't know how to do basic tasks like count the money they have, know if they have enough to buy a product and then buy it, and give the till staff the right amount for the product. Even if I'd be happy if the customer gave till staff like me the amount of money that was over the amount needed to pay. So they've got items to the value of $15.79, they pay with £16. Instead of that, they got like $15.79 items, and they start to pay you, they just chuck some coins in your hand hoping it's enough, and instead it's like £14.30 when you count it out, and you're like, this is £14.30, you need to owe, was it $15.79? And they're like, oh, okay, fish about in their wallet some more, give you some more, and you're like, no, that's still not enough, you need this value. And they're like, oh, okay, fish around in their wallet some more. Like, they can't count. They can't do basic counting of coins. They don't know that a 50p is a 50p, I guess. They don't know that a 2p is a 2p. They don't know that a shape of the coin and the amount written on it is the value of that coin, and how to count up from that to get to a higher value. Like, they have no idea. And you're like, how the fuck is this possible? How do they not know? I mean, I suppose it is uneducated, but I don't want to use that, because that's been abused by the far left and stuff, calling people uneducated for not being of their political ideology, essentially. Crows on at me to give me some stuff. I give them some stuff, but I'm not gonna, mate. Sorry, you've had your lot. Yeah, so you got people who can't count, people who live in the store, people who gamble and drink and do what the TV tells them. There's people with thick accents. I mean, I'll let that go, but like, when I'm trying to talk to someone, it's better if they have a clear voice so I know what they want. Some people just say nothing. I think that's kind of an antisocial thing. It's like, whatever if you want to say nothing, but I want it to be at the point where I want to know what it is you want to do, what you want to buy, what you're asking for. And some people don't seem to convey that. I had one like drunken rowdy guy approach the till and just goes, like, I've got £20, give me the thing. And I'm like, what thing? Like, give me it. Like, what? I've got the £20. You take the £20. I'm like, what? Why am I taking the £20? Get get the thing, give me the thing, it's around there somewhere. What's going on? And he was getting very aggressive while expecting me to know what his shopping was meant to be. I hate people like that, obviously. I mean, if you're sane, why wouldn't you hate people like that? Like, what? They're for, I mean, yeah. I mean, what can you say about that? People need to be explicit about what they want if they're going to buy something. People need to have the right money. And then there's the obvious thing of, like, nearly everyone seems to be paying by contactless card or contactless transaction through, like, a watch, or they're using their phone to pay, and it's always got a picture of a card on a phone, but it's like Google Wallet or Apple Pay or something like that. And all these people are normies. They wouldn't be paying if they weren't normies or far leftists, because you wouldn't submit to the possibility of CBDCs and digital currencies and digital ID and control of money and things like that by government. You just wouldn't do that shit if you knew what was going on in the world. So you know, when you're dealing with either maybe a right-winger or a centrist, like a freedom advocate like myself, a libertarian or an anarchist, because they will, by principle, pay in cash if they can, or they'll be paying maybe PIN number on their card because it's more secure and it's less open to abuse in the same way as contactless payments and all these other payments are. The people who fall too easily to convenience of digital cash nonsense are just going along with the so-called progressives, who are the regressive left, and they're just leaving themselves open to government control and stuff, and I hate that. It's just because the worst thing is, and I've talked to some elderly customers about it, the worst thing is when there are so many kids who come in either with cards, like there are children under age 12 who've been given like debit cards and they're coming up to pay, and it's even worse when it's like children with phones and they're paying on their phone, and they just come up and do a contactless payment. They might even do a contactless payment on an item that's like 15p or something, like a little fudge bar, and it just seems so sickening, so drone-like and termitey and collectivist and blind, that parents would even allow their kids to have internet or a phone or a debit card and go out alone and pay for stuff, like randomly just buy tons of sweets. They're like, bing, bing, bought something, bing, money out my account, bing, I don't even work, but money out my account, bing. That drives me fucking nuts. And it's just constant, so I don't have time to think about it or rail against it, and I don't want to speak out against it because shop policy and they want to make money from this stupid thing. But it's disgusting, and it's just everyday horrific disgustingness, so I'm apathetic to it, as we talked about in the last video, the last topic vlog. Very apathetic and emotionless towards serving people who I consider outside of work to be my enemies, unless they, you know, start choosing a more sane path in life and start thinking with their mind about what it is they're doing and what's happening to them and what's being done to them and who they should be railing against. You know, these people are just blindly automatons, like they're going through life on autopilot, and they're just going along with what they're told to do all the time, and they're especially falling into convenience, which I think I have a video about. I think I have a topic vlog about convenience. I could do more on that. You just go along with convenience. It's the easy way out. It's not you thinking or taking the long way round for the higher benefit, the higher level of discipline. It's just, I'll do this because it's easy, which makes you just so easy to control. Which they are. They're completely under control. And so it really stands out to me when I see people more in the mode of a freedom advocate, you know, paying by cash, buying veg and stuff to make a high maintenance meal that takes more effort to make, not ever buying alcohol, not ever buying newspapers, not ever buying lottery, you know, seeing through all that bullshit. That's what I like to see, and you don't see much of it. So I know that I'm rare in my belief of freedom, and I know that other people are rare who believe in freedom, and you really have to look out for them. But it so stands out, and it's so much better when you see someone like that. You're like, oh, finally a real person. I'm actually serving a real person. I want to meet this person outside of work, you know. Oh my god, can I get their number before they leave and I never see them again? Can I hang out with them? And then they're gone. You're like, oh fuck, now I just got to serve the mindless compliers again. Yeah, so that's a little video, probably not going to be my only one, but there's an introduction to serving normies. Dealing with normies. Thank you for watching.